Good day to you all, and if you've been here before, then welcome back, and if you haven't, then greetings and welcome to my channel. So it is very rainy in the UK here today, but just before the rain we did manage to get this delivered from Amazon. Obviously being in the UK, it was there was a couple of ways that we could have went about this. So this was available on Comics and Cocktails, and it still is up for pre-order, Comics and Cocktails, and probably some other retailers, but the delivery date is obviously further away. I can't remember exactly when it was, but it was sort of beginning of next year, I believe. But Amazon US were obviously posting this out to everybody, including those in the UK, and it worked out by the time I'd bought it in US dollars and had it shipped over, there was no import fees. Everything was included in the price, and it was about £2.30, I believe, more than what I'd have paid in Comics and Cocktails. Usually Comics and Cocktails are quite a bit cheaper, but obviously they're having to import some of the stock by the looks of it. So I did get this from Amazon US, and it took, from when they said they were going to start shipping it, it was about a week. So beginning of last week, I believe it was, they took the money for it, waited a couple of days for them to ship it, and then by the time they shipped it and it ended up here, was probably about a week. But we've got another mmpr monster here, and we've got Mighty Morphin Snizzard. I don't overly remember him from the show. I'm not going to pretend that I do. That he wasn't as, in my opinion, he wasn't one of the more recognisable ones like Pudgy Pig and Eye Guy, and maybe that's because we sort of saw a bit more of them in different lines of figures and stuff like that. But he's cool nonetheless. This is the front of the box, and it just shows us a cool action pose that he's got there. It tells us what we're going to get in the box with some really nice art on the side. I actually really like that. That nice gold is very nice. And then on the top we've just got the logo as usual. The bottom we have got all our legal bits. On the side it's telling us that we've got Mighty Morphin Snizzard, and again a nice bit of art. Now I know a lot of people are a bit or don't like these plastic-less packaging, and I understand that posing this or displaying this box, shall I say, next to one of the older ones could be a bit different, but that is actually a really nice box. I really like that. And then on the back, so this is the same as what we've seen in the Power Swap 2-pack. We've got a little action shot that we've got from the front. This is showing us what we get inside the box. So we're getting our Snizzard, the lightning effect piece which goes on top of his head, so this is like another variation, but obviously it's got the snake head on it, and it looks very similar to the one that we've got with the pumpkin wrapper. We've got the bow and a snake, which I believe is probably meant to be a wrapped up version of this, looking at it. And I'm not going to bother to unbox it all on camera, just because it's very much the same in tray and little bags that we saw with the Power Swap pack. So I'm not going to bore you all with all the rustling, so let's get him unboxed. So out of the packaging, this is him in all his glory with his little bits. I haven't attached any of the bits yet because I thought, why not, we'll do that together. But this is like the folded up version. If this isn't what I believe it to be, then please let me know in the comments below. I don't know whether it's meant to just be a snake that comes with him, or if it's meant to be a rolled up version of the whip. I believe it's supposed to be a rolled up version of the whip, just because it all looks the same size, and it all looks the same to me. So this is like capture part, which you can hook over rangers and steal them forever. And then we've got our rolled up version of it, or the snake, or whatever it's meant to be, to go with it. We've got our warped version of the bow, which I'll go into in just a sec. The lightning effect piece, which is obviously specific to this character as it sits on his little crown. And we've got his tail, which is supposed to be wired inside apparently. Obviously I can't see inside to confirm or deny that, but it does roll up quite nicely and it does stay there. The print on it is pretty good. I don't know if being how rubbery it is, it will dry out over time and crack. I don't know, obviously, but it looks pretty good to me. So this is the ball joint on the figure. I'm just going to pop it in just so we can get ready to have a look at him, and it goes in pretty nicely. It does come up quite far and it bends up quite well, so that's cool. So looking at this figure straight away, the feel and the quality of it is really good. It's a nice weighty figure, so that's nice. I have got the correct legs. I've seen a couple of people that have had two of the same top part of the leg somehow. I suppose it would just sit on like that. I don't know. The paint on him looks pretty good. The detail in there is nice enough. I like the crown on top of his head, and he's got this like clear plastic web going down his back. And then he's got all these little like spikes and the scale bits, and he's obviously made up of the snake. We've got a couple of snakes stuck to the end of his hands, which is cool. Obviously they're meant to be his hands, not stuck to the end, but they look pretty cool. And looking a bit further at the accessories, so they do fit in his hand, so you can kind of just place them in between the teeth, and they do go in really nicely. You can obviously move the hands around so he can hold both ends of it or whatever. So there's that. And then it'll be the same with this one, or you can have it like wrapping around his hand or going in there as well at the same time, so you can kind of have him showing the end of the snake if you wanted to. He's full of snakes, this chap. And I don't know if there's a right or wrong way around of putting this. I would believe it goes on there like that, which is cool. I might display him like that, I'm not sure yet. He looks cool without it, but then because it's such a unique effect piece, I probably will display him with it. And then lastly, for his items is the bow. Now this is unfortunate because I've seen this with pretty much everybody's or the pictures and reviews that I've seen of it so far anyway. Obviously those people that don't unbox them will not know, but this is so rubbery that unfortunately it has bent in the box, and I sat there for a good sort of 10 minutes trying to warm it up and bend it back and all that sort of stuff, and it just don't happen. So I don't know whether I'm gonna have to, like, if I wanted to display him with it, put like a little stick behind it, tie it on, and hope that that would sort of over time keep it there. Let's see how he holds it, because I haven't actually tried to put this in his hands yet. I suppose you could kind of try and get him to hold it and stretch it out like that-ish, like that. And it doesn't look too bad, but unfortunately, because you can't turn his head round, he's only really gonna just sort of hold it in his hand relaxed. So, you know, if you could have it so you wouldn't see it, which is probably what I'll do. I might just display him without it, put it back in the box or put it in the packaging, so you can kind of hold it like that, so you wouldn't necessarily see that it's warped, bent, etc. That looks pretty cool. And if we stick that one in there, move that out of the way. There we go. Mine have got a little bit loose feet on the bottom, which is affecting it standing up, even with the tail. So I've sort of bent the tail down so he can stand, which is probably one of the only ways you're going to do it, unless you're going to lean it up against something. You could sort of put it up, but even then, it's you're going to need a lot of space. But he looks cool. I'll quickly go through the articulation. I work from the bottom up just so I try not to forget anything. And if I do forget anything, I apologise. I have had a little fiddle about with this figure before I did the video, just to see what I can and can't do. But it doesn't mean that I'm not going to miss anything. So we've got swivel on the bottom of his feet, which works really well. But as I said, mine are a little bit loose. And the same on that side. Got some nice little snake pattern there, it's really cool. And then his knees bend to I believe, about there. So it doesn't appear to have anything else, but obviously it's being hindered at the back anyway, so there would be no need to put that in there, being he's so big. His legs are on a ball inside, so they can move around as much as you like, really. So that's that on both sides. He's obviously on a ball in the middle, so we can swivel him around, move him side to side and up and back and forward, whatever. And then his hands, there is no movement on the hands, that is just what they are. But you can slot stuff in there really nicely, to be honest, so it's not overly, I wouldn't say it's needed at all, to be honest. His arms are on this weird thing, which I find very strange, and it would be nice to be able to, I suppose you could kind of push it down a little bit. There you go, so he's sort of going, there we are. So he can do that, but you do end up with this little pokey outy bit here, which again isn't overly bothering, and it doesn't bother me at all. And we've got some sort of movement on the arm, which is fine. Going to the head, so I don't think that's meant to move around, to be honest, but it does. There's a small bit of movement in the mouth here, and it's obviously hindered underneath by what's going on with this open and closey bit. So his face and chest is going to open, which reveals inside our little snakes, which are on a little joint in there to be able to move them around, so you can poke them up, stick them down, push them to the back. But it looks really cool. I love this. You can put your rangers in there, or your kids' feet. So that's how it looks from the side. Obviously from the front. And there we go. Overall, this the figure quality does feel really good, so I'm very happy with that. I'm happy with the figure overall anyway. I think for the price point it is pretty good. I can't see any paint problems with it. I can't feel anything that feels a bit sketchy or anything like that. His feet are a little bit loose, but that could be down to the weight of the figure rather than actually the build quality of the figure. The design that's gone into it is really, really good, and I am more than happy. We've got quite good accessories. I know we haven't got extra hands and things like that, so that's probably why it feels like we've just got a little bit more than usual. The design and thoughts that have gone into it, really, really good. I love the opening mouth that opens from the chest, looks really cool. And you can guarantee that you're going to see some really good shots. And as I said in the beginning, I picked this up from Amazon, getting it a couple of months early for an extra £2.30, which is probably like close to $3 for those of you in the US. Is fine. I'm more than happy to do that. So yeah, really good. I've got some other bits on the way, so I will be reviewing them when they eventually come out. I think the Time Force Blue and the bike is on its way at the moment, and using the same process that I'd used to get this from Amazon. Didn't work out a whole lot extra money or anything like that, so I was happy to do that. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video, please subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. Let me know that you enjoyed it, or if there's bits that you didn't enjoy, feel free to politely let me know. Obviously, what's happened these last couple of days, make sure you're checking in with neighbours, family and friends that may not have those to be able to, you know, talk to each other and things like that. Or if you can, you know, just keep in contact with those around you. Remember to be nice to each other. Stay safe and healthy. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. See you soon.